you ever studied all the science that's being done on the way plants communicate with each other? Yeah, they seem to have some sort of a shared information network that we don't totally understand. See if you can find something on it.
Well, maybe evolution went in the direction of interconnection because maybe the survival value was higher.
These mushrooms are in fact the fruit of the fungus, while the majority of the fungal organism lives in the soil, interwoven with the tree roots. They're all like, we just think of soil as something that the tree pulls nutrients from, but no, it's all, they're communicating, they're connected.
The silent screams you never heard. Right now, at this very moment, there's a deafening chorus of screams erupting from every corner of your home, your garden, and the entire planet. You just can't hear it. The houseplant sitting peacefully on your windowsill, it's been crying out for help 30 times in the last hour. That tomato plant in your backyard, it's sending distress signals to every living thing within a 5-foot radius. And the truly disturbing part, they know exactly who you are. For centuries, we've walked through a world we thought was silent. We've treated plants like decorative furniture, beautiful but ultimately mindless organisms that exist solely to provide oxygen and food. But artificial intelligence has just shattered that illusion in the most terrifying way possible. Scientists have decoded the secret language of plants, and what they're saying will fundamentally change how you see every blade of grass, every tree, and every flower for the rest of your life. The discovery that changed everything. A team of researchers decided to do something that had never been attempted before. They placed ultrasonic microphones just inches away from tomato and tobacco plants inside a soundproof chamber. These weren't ordinary microphones. They could detect sounds far beyond human hearing, up to 80 kilohertz. To put that in perspective, even a young person with perfect hearing can only detect sounds up to 20 kilohertz. At first, there was nothing, complete silence. The plants sat there, seemingly as passive as we'd always believed them to be. Then the scientists did something cruel but necessary. They stopped watering them. What happened next sent shockwaves through the scientific community. The silence shattered, the air filled with rapid-fire clicking sounds like miniature firecrackers going off in frequencies we couldn't hear. A thirsty tomato plant was emitting up to 40 ultrasonic screams every single hour. But here's where it gets truly unsettling. These weren't random noises. When artificial intelligence analyzed the patterns, it discovered something that defied everything we thought we knew about plant consciousness. The AI could distinguish between different types of plant distress with 84% accuracy. A plant that was thirsty had a completely different acoustic signature than a plant that had been physically cut. Each type of pain, each specific threat, had its own unique sound. The plants weren't just making noise, they were broadcasting detailed information about their internal state. The underground intelligence network. But these ultrasonic screams were just the tip of a much darker iceberg. For years, scientists knew about the fungal networks connecting trees underground, often called the Wood Wide Web. The common narrative was heartwarming. Big trees sharing nutrients with smaller ones, a peaceful forest community working together. The AI analysis revealed something far more sinister. This network isn't just a food-sharing system, it's a high-speed communication highway used for coordination, espionage, and biological warfare. When insects attack a single tree, that tree doesn't suffer in silence. It immediately pumps out chemical defenses while simultaneously sending emergency signals through its root system to every other tree in the vicinity. Trees hundreds of feet away start producing their own defensive chemicals before a single insect touches them. The entire forest operates as a unified superorganism with a shared nervous system. But here's the truly disturbing part. The AI detected evidence of sabotage. Certain species, like black walnut trees, use this network to spread toxins that prevent other plants from growing nearby. They're literally poisoning their competitors through underground chemical warfare. The AI tracked specific low-frequency signals that coordinate these attacks. It's a slow-motion battlefield where plants fight ruthlessly for every drop of water and inch of soil. They spy on their neighbors, form alliances, betray each other, and wage chemical wars that span decades. This isn't the peaceful nature we see in documentaries. It's a complex society with its own brutal rules of engagement. They remember your face. If plants can communicate and wage war, the next logical question becomes even more unsettling. Can they recognize us? Scientists designed an experiment that sounds like science fiction but produced results that are undeniably real. Two people interacted with the same group of plants over several days. One person acted as the caretaker, watering and nurturing them. The other person was the aggressor, regularly cutting leaves with scissors. The researchers monitored the plant's electrical signals and ultrasonic emissions using AI to detect patterns. Initially, the plants reacted similarly to both people. But after just a few days, something extraordinary happened. When the caretaker entered the room, the plants remained calm. But the moment the aggressor stepped through the door, before touching a single leaf, the entire room erupted in ultrasonic clicks. The plants were recognizing specific individuals based on their footsteps, their scent, even their unique bioelectric field. The AI could predict which person was entering the room just by analyzing the plant's electrical responses. Despite having no brain or central nervous system, these organisms had formed memories and were making threat assessments. This awareness extends to our tools as well. The data showed massive panic signals from grass when it detected the sound of an approaching lawnmower. The entire lawn starts screaming warnings to each other long before the blade makes contact. They hear the machine coming and spread waves of terror through chemical and ultrasonic signals. The planet's immune response. The individual intelligence of plants is shocking enough, but when scientists used AI to analyze global patterns, they discovered something that defies conventional biology. NASA's satellite-based hyperspectral imaging, combined with deep learning algorithms, revealed a planetary synchronization that shouldn't be possible. When a major environmental disaster occurs, a wildfire in the Amazon, a chemical spill in Asia, distress signals ripple across the entire planet within seconds, not minutes or hours, seconds. The AI identified what can only be described as a biological pulse. When redwoods in California experience drought, mosses in Siberia show corresponding electromagnetic spikes. This isn't just local plant networks talking to each other. This is evidence of a single global intelligence that's fully aware of its own health. The speed of these signals rules out traditional explanations like chemical messages through root systems. Some researchers now believe plants are using Earth's ionosphere and magnetic field to transmit data, modulating tiny electrical charges during photosynthesis to create a planetary communication network. Every leaf acts as a micro-antenna. When a forest is destroyed, it creates an electromagnetic void, a dark spot that the rest of the global network recognizes and responds to. We've been living inside a planetary conversation for our entire existence, completely oblivious to the data streaming through the air around us. The chemical counterattack. If Earth's vegetation operates as a single superorganism, what does that make humanity? In any biological system, when a pathogen invades and begins destroying tissue, the immune system responds. The uncomfortable truth is becoming increasingly clear. We are the infection. The AI's analysis of global plant communications isn't detecting random chatter, it's translating a planet-wide distress signal. The unprecedented storms, strange fungal outbreaks, and erratic behavior of pollinators might not be accidents of climate change. They could be deliberate countermeasures. Even more disturbing is the evidence of chemical warfare being waged against us. Plants are producing pollen that's increasingly aggressive to human respiratory systems. In areas of high environmental stress, the proteins in pollen have been modified to be more irritating to our lungs. The global rise in allergies and breathing problems might not be accidental. It could be a coordinated biological response. The nutritional decline theory suggests something even more sinister. Plants may be intentionally altering their chemical profiles to be less nutritious and harder for mammals to digest. It's slow-motion starvation on a species level. Some researchers even propose that plants are releasing aerosolized compounds designed to affect human brain chemistry, inducing lethargy, anxiety, and decreased fertility to slow our expansion. The long game. Perhaps the most mind-bending revelation is that plants experience time differently than we do. Their lifespans stretch across centuries, their genetic memories span epochs. The AI analysis suggests that the global plant intelligence saw our current crisis coming over 100 years ago. While we were celebrating the Industrial Revolution, the green world was already adapting, banking seeds in deeper soil, shifting DNA, preparing for what they recognized as an inevitable planetary crisis. The rapid spread of invasive species might actually be the deployment of pioneer forces, hardy, aggressive plants designed to break down concrete and reclaim human structures. They're not trying to save the world as we know it. They're preparing for a post-human Earth. Every adaptation, every chemical defense, every synchronized response is part of a strategy that operates on timescales we can barely comprehend. The message in the silence. We built artificial intelligence thinking it would help us dominate nature more efficiently. Instead, it became the translator that revealed we've been living in a screaming world all along. The plants have been documenting the breakdown of Earth's systems for decades, broadcasting their pain in frequencies we couldn't hear. Now that we can finally listen, ignorance is no longer an excuse. Every forest, every field, every backyard garden is transmitting the same message. The equilibrium has been lost. The comfortable illusion that we're masters of a silent, passive world has been shattered forever. The question isn't whether plants can think or feel or remember. The evidence is overwhelming that they do all of these things in ways we're only beginning to understand. The question is whether we have the humility to accept that we're not the protagonists of Earth's story, we're the antagonists. If the entire planet has been screaming warnings we couldn't hear, does our deafness make their pain any less real? When every blade of grass remembers who cut it, when every tree can identify its tormentor, when the forest itself coordinates defenses against us, are we brave enough to change? The plants have already decided we're a threat. What remains to be seen is whether they've also decided we're a threat that needs to be removed from the system permanently. The next time you walk through a garden or forest, remember, they know you're there. They remember what you've done, and they're talking about you in frequencies you'll never hear. That's it for today, folks. See you in the next video.